Hello and welcome everybody, I am SocioPsycho, and today we look at a game called Circuits. This was created by Digital Tentacle, available on PC, Mac, and Linux. This is a music puzzle game. It lacks one of a options menu. It doesn't have a sound slider, so any sound issues you have will be needed to adjust via desktop. Also, this game is designed for headphones. It is very heavily music based, and to get the most out of the game, having headphones is preferred. Now, on the load up screen before you get into the game, it has a wide berth of resolutions, which is nice. There is no need for graphical settings, as it is a very simplistic visualization puzzle game. So let's go into it and show you exactly what I mean. Now, as you can see, there are 25 levels, and it gets far more complicated the more you go in, and each level has its own unique sound, and it's about piecing these sounds together. So as you can see here, we have a music file. So let's play this music file, and as you can hear, it has a very beautiful melody. It has a almost trance-like. Now, not all the songs are going to be trance-like, but there is a certain caliber to them, which have each uniqueness. Now, it's our job to find the correct pattern, and as you see, I'm clicking on these below. Each one of these plays a different melody, and we have to find the correct pathway to place them in. So we take one and we put it in there, and we take the other and we put it in the middle, and then we can hit play and sync it up. If we need to rehear the song itself, we hit back to the play mode in the bottom left. Now we'll skip through here so we can get closer to the end of it. And this is the first step, is recreating the melody on a bass line. It's about training your ears to listen to the most minute changes in the melody and being able to piece those together as each musical level gets more complicated, and different variations of sound and music itself propel it even further in to be more difficult later on, which is a subtle increase in the sound, which is really appreciated. The game sounds very beautiful and is done very well. So the game has different layers of music, so let's look at one that is a little bit more tempo based. It has a lot more to it, and the game has a wide berth of different types of music, which is really nice. So let's listen to this. You can see how it picks up right there. It has this little dun dun dun, this continuation which we need to keep remembrance of. And then you can count the tempos and try to remember where lands what. It's like a very advanced Simon Says game with obviously much better music. Now when we click on the bottom here, obviously we can go through our choices to try to remember which one is which, to figure out where our options go. This is something that you could easily get frustrated with, and why it's very important to just take it one note at a time sometimes if your ears aren't trained properly to handle the difference in music. So as you can tell, the music is very beautiful. But this is really only the edge of what you're able to do, so let's listen to this one and see exactly how it even propels it further. A lot of different melodies in there. So as you can definitely see, there's a lot to remember to this. We need to take it apart, perhaps, one line at a time. And how you do something like that is there are options in the game. If you look at the bottom left side and the top upper side, you can see that we can split the lines apart piece by piece. And if we have things placed in the wrong sections, and we hit the help tip, it will show us which ones are out of place, but you can only use it once per turn, so it does require more on you, and it's more of a, I've done everything, what is that one issue, rather than, well, just guide me through it. There's a way to, in the top left, to split how you want to hear the tones one line at a time, one sort of melody section, and this way you can sort of break it up bit by bit to try to focus on the individual separate parts, which can be really helpful. You can play test the original play mode and hear what it's supposed to sound like, and then rotate that back to with how you want to put the melodies in. So another beautiful thing about the layer system is that you can break it up so that you can listen to it individually, which think of it as a level slider. If you break it up and listen to it individually, you're playing on easy. If you listen to the entire song itself and try to pick it out, then you're listening on it on more of a harder setting, of course. The only thing that's an issue when you do it like this that I've found is when you complete one melody per group. So we go with the red circles at the top and then yellow circles on the bottom. If everything is complete and perfect, even if you're in one segregated melody group, when it gets to the end, it will complete the level, and you will not be able to have any chance to go back and maybe tweak anything else or look at anything else differently, which is really unfortunate, because that is, I feel, could have been a strong point of the game to enhance people to want to get more into melody remixing and maybe drive people even further into a musical art. Now, as you can see, we have the option to change the beat length, the tone. This is a mid-level mechanic to indicate how many times a phase repeats, of how long it does this. Now, this is very important in trying to figure out where the right tone and melody is, and from what we've been able to listen to and do, this, I believe, was the right one, but it's not. So let's try to figure this out and see where we've gone wrong. So after a bunch of time spent working on this, I had to redo the mission again, and we have everything in the same order as we did, so we're going to hit the tips and try to figure out where our issue is. Okay, so there we go. It's the 6 needed to be a 1, and now that that's changed, we should be good. The larger the levels get, obviously the longer it will take to listen through the entire level. And when you get into some of these bigger ones and you have one melody that's wrong towards the end and you want to hear what the correct melody is in the play mode, then you can't skip through it as if you can when you're listening to the input you've placed down, which is really unfortunate because it kind of slows your pacing down. And I feel that is another bad thing about the game. It doesn't destroy it, but it's something that's a minor annoyance. So here's another delightful little mechanic that I wanted to show you on this map, and it splits up the melody options that you have. So as you see here, there's little connectors, and these connectors change the melodies. The top row has a completely different melody than the middle row. And so we have to listen to what the sound is and then try to match it up with the melody itself. This is a more of a trial and error, I think one of the more easier ones, but still something that's kind of fun and a mechanic that in later on will be used to really make things a little bit more difficult, but it's definitely enjoyable as the rest of the game is. Now, the last thing I want to show you before we end this beautiful video here is you also have loops. Now, when we put in a sequence of sounds, I'm just throwing in any sequence of sounds to show you this, and we fill it all up, it will go through this quadrant of sounds. And once it completes the entire quadrant, it'll replay it as a loop throughout the entire map. So it's very important to make sure that matches up perfectly, otherwise you'll end up with a completely different sound than what you're hoping for. And this mechanic split in with all the other mechanics, and it can get into some really beautiful gameplay later on. And so this game, for the price point of entry, for the level design, for the musical finessity of it, absolutely I would recommend this game. This is really an unexpected delight, but it is difficult for those who are not really trained in a musical sense to pick out minor things. So thank you everybody for watching. I have been SocioPsycho. Pick this up and give your feedback about what you liked or didn't like about it. Join our community. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.
You